Hi, how's it going? My name's Brian James and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a channel pretty much dedicated to, well, basically me building cars. The car of choice for myself is the Chevron, which is basically a Lotus 7 replica. So in the past week, I've been working on this one. So I'll just quickly run through what I've actually done in the past week. I wasn't overly happy with the camber that was on the wheels after we'd modified the spindles. So I readjusted the camber, basically ground and re-welded the spindles. I still have to actually get them properly welded. All I've done is tack them up, and then I'll have a certified welder go through them and make sure that they're safe. Once again, this car is actually not going to end up on the road. I'm building a burnout car. For those that know it, cool. For those that don't, very quickly, down here in Australia and New Zealand, or here in New Zealand and Australia, I should get that right, we do burnout comps. Cars basically destroying tyres, but it's a lot more complicated than that. And if you go onto YouTube and look up burnout comps, you'll see that it's actually quite complicated and it does require skill. Not that I've got much skill, but it looks like a load of fun, so we're going to try it anyway. To that extent, the next part of the phase for that was to put the V6, so it's a 3.8 litre V6 motor and gearbox, and fit it in between the frame rails. This car came out with, with a 12A peripheral port, not a massive V6 in it. So there was a bit of cutting and folding that was a need. So not only did I manage to get it stuck into the frames, but I've built the engine mounts for it that's solid mounted to the chassis. I don't want rubber mounts on it. I don't think it needs it. Moving our way on back, we connected up the steering. So now that the steering's all working the way it should be, we'll put the floor in on the passenger side. Now the passenger side is going to be holding the fuel tank, the electronics, and the battery box. I'll have it partitioned off so I can't actually, if the fuel tank explodes, I won't get hurt, but it's all going to be up in here instead of over the back. I don't particularly want it over the back. Working our way on back, we fitted the diff. So the diff's all been put together. It's a limited slip Commodore item. We've mounted it up in the car. Once I got it sat down on its wheels, I could see where it was about to sit. That's what these are for, so I can lift it up in the air and take a look. And so this holds the diff in the position where it would be with the weight on it on the ground. And once again, I didn't like the way it sat. It sat with its ass on the ground. So I've made up spaces to go in between the springs and the chassis. So that brings it down probably about 40 mil. Which I'm a lot happier about. So that's basically what I've been doing over the past week. It's going to be interesting to get this car going, but I've got to take a break from it at the moment because I've gone as far as I can go. I need to get some aluminium in so I can make up wheel spaces. The back end needs to come out about 40 and 60 mil respectively, either side, so they're coming out evenly. And I want to give myself about 30 mil guard clearance. The front end needs to come out. I've got Commodore brake rotors on there at the moment, but I can't fit the brakes in to where the suspension's sitting. So to that extent, I've got LC Tirana brake rotors and brakes to go in there. Now they're a 4 1/4, not a 4.5 inch PCD. So I have to make up an adapter. So I thought may as well space them out a bit by about 40 odd mil. Once all the spaces are on and the wheels are out to where I want them, I can make up the guards. So the front guards, I'm going to have cycle guards on it as opposed to the clamshells which I normally do. And the back guards I'm going to make out of some 5 to 6 mil and have that rounded, because what you've got steel belts, when you pop your tyres, you've got steel belts flapping about, so I don't want them tearing up the guards. So make them heavy duty, 5 to 6 mil. Have it all rolled up, welded up onto the side. That will pretty much be, then it's a case of I'm having to get another motor. So what I did find with the motor I've got was that it had been left and it had got water into one of the bores, which had rusted one of the bores. Unfortunately, that's pretty much stuffed this motor. It had also, on the head, dropped a valve. So it had obviously been given a hard life. So what I have done is I've replaced the heads in the intake. I've got another set of heads that I had lying spare, another intake that I had lying around. I put new head gaskets on and everything, all new valve train. So I'm in two minds. One is, look, I can just have this in here, start it. I know that one pot is basically stuffed. So all that's going to do is just add a bit of oil into the exhaust. So it's just going to make the exhaust smoke. Alternatively, I can hunt around for another motor. So it would be a Series 1, like a VN or VP Commodore motor that will fit into here. And there's yet a third option where a friend of mine wants me to use a late model Commodore V6 motor into it. It's a 3.6 litre motor, but they really do produce the horsepower and they're very good. But these are cheap. You pick up one of these motors for $400 or $500. So hence the reason why I'm using them, because if you pop a motor, it's cheaper just to throw it away and get another one than have it rebuilt. I do have another motor under the bench over there, which I will probably get stuck into, rip it apart, take a look at what's wrong with it, and maybe rebuild that one for it to go into the car. So that's what I did last week. Next week, I've got another Chevron coming in here. I'm going to put this up on the frame, push it aside, and we're going to be fitting a 3SGE motor, 6-speed gearbox, and an independent rear end into it. So that should be quite fun. Okay, look, if you like what you saw, click like, subscribe, and ask any questions. I'm more than happy to try and answer anything I can. I love these cars and I want everyone to share my passion. So, hey look, you have a good day. Thank you very much.